Hello. I was going to say Stride and Edge, but you have actually got names. Hello, Maddie, and hello, Harry. Welcome. And I was just saying, just this morning, and I did a 10 o'clock news where I was just saying that I have met so many new people through doing the lockdown lessons. It's been such a treat. And probably quite a few of them were introduced to me through Joanna Ireland, who everybody seems to know, including you two. But we were also just saying that we have other connections as well, because Lakes Bespoke Gardens, who are my son and potentially a future son-in-law, hopefully I'm not jumping the gun there too much, also do the gardens of the house that you've been staying in during lockdown, which is an amazing house, isn't it? Just tell us a little bit about where it is that you are, Maddie.
So the house is on, it's on Brede River, right on the top of, in Ambleside, the top of the lake. And like right now where we're sat, there's big glass windows here and we're looking right out onto the river, and it's just absolutely
people
spectacular.
jealous in lockdown, so don't talk about it.
I know, but
what a special house though to be in during lockdown. It is really, really something. And if you haven't already seen, for those of you watching, if you go onto Lakes Bespoke Gardens, and another little plug for them, sorry, they put a photograph up of that house the other day, and so many people have asked me, because actually I think everybody, because I shared it, everybody thinks that Ashdown Jones are selling it, and I went, just hold your horses, not quite, but it's on my radar. So let's just dive into a little bit more about Stride and Edge, because I don't know anything about you guys deliberately, because I wanted to learn with our audience what it is that you do there.
thank you.
It's okay. Sorry.
Honestly, he's being photobombed already, video bombed.
So yeah, sorry, where were we at? We'll just restart that conversation. Completely lost.
Forget all that happened. We'll just start again. So, Maddie and Harry, tell us about Stride and Edge.
Stride and Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically we started doing yoga about 6 years ago. Harry's got a...
8.
Was it 8 years ago?
8 years ago, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Harry's got a... You've got a chronic
I've got
pain,
shoulder pain, and it was just something that was recommended after lots of different treatments, some kind of low-level operation where it's just facet joint injections and then ongoing drugs and different prescriptions. And it was just advice saying, look, if you're on a long-term solution, go down the yoga or Pilates route and try find some sort of kind of lifestyle change you can make to maintain where you're at. 'Cause it's not going to get better because it's a degenerative disc. So I obviously, and this comes up in what we're about to talk about, is I was not going to yoga. I was like, no, that's not happening.
This was 8 years ago as well, before it really boomed. And
before it was actually socially acceptable for men to be doing yoga at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he said, please, will you come with me? And I said, yeah, of course, it'll be fun. And we ended up absolutely falling in love with it.
Yeah.
Did you?
The first class, remember when we did that first class and we came in, we suddenly just had this massive energy rush. And we said, what the hell is going on? What is this? So we were kind of hooked from day one.
Wow. And so what does Stride and Edge actually do?
So we started, that's basically the journey of how we got into yoga. It was just along that route, and it's progressed year after year as we did it more, and we did challenges and tried more different classes. And as we traveled, we experienced different styles. And Madeline's actually an actor. So I work full time, and Madeline's just graduated from the Manchester School of Theatre. She's signed with an agent. Actually, so she's a represented talent now. So she wanted, though, is still having kind of a backup plan. And so as we were going through the last few years of kind of thinking where our routes go, I'm committed to my job full time, and Madeline needs some.
What is your job, Harry?
I work at A.W. Jenkinson's, kind of in sales, doing everything to do with renewable energy, livestock bedding, forestry, and all.
It's safe to say then you two are a very busy couple, and so you have your separate interests and jobs. And then you've come together for Stride and Edge, and that's predominantly what, yoga-based teaching? Is that what it is?
Yeah, we
yoga
teach
studio.
yoga.
Got you. And is there a studio there at that beautiful house?
No.
Oh, you see, you nearly had me there, Maddie. You nearly had a convert.
It's as beautiful. It is as beautiful. On Saturday mornings, we use the Windermere Jetty Museum. You know, the new.
Do you?
Yeah, and we've got an agreement there where we use that at weekends, and we do it before the museum opens. It's all glass fronted onto the water. It's closer to the water than we are now.
Wow, I would love to come to that one, actually. That would appeal to me for definite.
cafe opens at 10 when we finish and everyone stays for pancakes. We've really built a community feel.
I'm in. You had me at pancakes.
Yeah. Everyone has that.
Yeah.
So yoga is, because I'm a really busy business owner, as are lots of people who are watching this, yoga has been one too many things on my tick list. I'm going to be honest. So I do my running. I just bought a skipping rope yesterday. What a disaster that is. Honestly, trying to skip as a 51-year-old woman is not advisable to anybody. But I'm trying to find ways that I can make my core stronger, as I'm sure ladies of a certain age, particularly, probably need to do. And Danielle Hone, I'm not sure if you know her, but she was a Pilates teacher and she's a Pilates expert. She's actually, I think, launching some online programs for that. And so I've heard that Pilates is really good for strengthening your joints and your core. Can you just speak a little bit about what Joanna says she's in as well? What the difference is between Pilates and yoga, and does it overlap? Does it compete? Does it complement? How does it work?
Oh, it's a tough question because I actually don't know enough to give you an answer on what that is. Pilates is a different thing. It was Mr. Pilates started it, and it's named after him.
I didn't know that. It's actually a person.
Yeah, this could be completely wrong. It could be Joseph.
Fake news here. Fake news. Well, you're going to tell me there was a Mr. Yoga next, aren't you?
No, definitely not a Mr. Yoga, but it was Joseph Pilates or something Pilates. He started that, and it's. I think fundamentally it has a lot of yoga within it, but it's a breakout of its own, and I can't go into what that is because I don't understand that. But I know there's a lot of similarities between the two. There is some differences between them.
But I suppose Pilates, from what I understand, which is very, very little, I would see it more as a strengthening sort of class that you do with other people. Whereas yoga, I see it as something a bit more almost meditative that you can do on your own, and it can actually affect your mood, can't it? You can calm yourself through it. Is that right? Yeah.
So, for instance, I think that was one of the big misconceptions between what yoga is and what it's like. Yoga is there's 15 or more. There's so many different variations of yoga. It's like saying the difference between running or football or just sport. And it is that we teach vinyasa power yoga. So our classes are strength based. You're gonna get your heart rate's gonna be up, but at the same time it is a meditative practice because it's all about cueing the breath. And these are in some of the things obviously we've kind of put down as reasons why and benefits and how you should get started. But then
let's do those first. Then let's just quickly go into the why yoga is good, because I think that's a good time to go into that.
Yeah. Okay. Good segue. Let's go for it.
Well, so our first one was it's a great workout. So it is. We do, the heart rate does increase, and people do get sweaty. It is a bit like a workout.
Normally quite shocked, especially first class.
Yeah.
With our style, that is, not with all yoga,
exactly,
but with Stride and Edge's style of yoga.
I think people have this misconception of they come in and they think that we're all going to be sat around.
Me too. I thought I was going to lie down and then get up and have a pancake.
Yeah, exactly. And it's basically it's just a great workout. It's a complete body workout. All of your muscles are active and engaged at some part of the class. And with that, it's also not something to be scared of because it isn't designed to be a workout. It just happens to be, and it's completely tailored for any body type. So there's no reason to fear going to a class like there would be, say, going to an advanced spinning class or something like that. It's got options to make it available to everyone that wants to join it.
So in that way, then, from what you're saying, is it doesn't feel like it's a very competitive kind of activity. Right. Like you said, a spinning class where you're all trying to outdo each other, but that's not the same kind of atmosphere.
No.
Yeah, this was another point we wanted to make. I think sometimes people they want to compare themselves to other people, but what's really lovely about yoga is you go in there and you're on your mat and you're so focused on the movements yourself, you're focused on what the teacher is saying. You don't really have time to compare yourself to. It's not about comparing yourself to other people at all, and we really want to push that. So
that comes.
I'm just telling James to just move his light because I realised I look like a witch. Actually, that's a little better. Thank you. Sorry. Yes. No, you're quite right, Maddy. Yeah, I was listening. I promise.
If these segues between things from your questions do help us, is say one point of why you should do yoga is because it's a great workout, and that's led us into one of the reasons to help you start doing yoga off a different list is actually not to compare yourself. That's the one thing People come to it with a mindset that it's a competition, and it's not a competition. It's not a sport. It's much more of a discipline.
It's for yourself.
And
so what about, so let's say that I was a larger lady. I mean, I'm not tiny, but I probably wouldn't describe myself as a larger lady. And I was worried about my body shape, and I didn't want to go to like an aerobics class and all that kind of stuff, or a gym. But would you say that yoga is for every body of every different shape, or are they all like super thin and model looking when you're in the class?
The demographic is completely wide open. There is no particular body type that suits. Obviously, there's restrictions with any sort of body type, whether it be a physical injury or whether it be a physical shape. They all have their limitations, no different to any sort of thing there. And actually, you just have to adjust the class to your needs. So there'd be no reason to expect that you couldn't do it. It would be more based in your head, and it's about stripping that ego away, because everyone has an ego. It doesn't matter. Some people have bigger egos, but everybody has an ego, and it's about stripping that back when you do yoga and not actually worrying. And that's obviously a very easy to say and hard to do, but that's kind of the journey you go on, is that everyone starts in a different place and you adapt to make it suitable. And then the more you practice, the more you realize what those adaptations can be for your body to enjoy it.
And I suppose, so what you're saying is that as you come more and get more kind of relaxed and used to the moves, maybe you're getting incrementally better, and then that's going to benefit you overall anyway. So, I think that if I was first going to, because I once went to a yoga class a few years ago, and I went to see Tracy Wilson in Kendall.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely exhausted at the end of that. Honestly, I don't know how she does it. She's a power woman, and it scared me off. I'm not going to lie, because I think it was like an intermediate, and I thought, well, yoga's not very energetic. I can manage an intermediate. I'm relatively fit. Oh my goodness, how wrong was I? I felt like a complete idiot. But I think from what I've understood about yoga is the kind of thing where you have incremental improvements, and that actually helps you enjoy it more because you're getting better at it. Is that the way it should work?
Yeah, definitely. And we like to encourage people to, we do this deal where it's a new customer deal where it's half price for 4 classes. And I think we put that in because, sometimes you come to one class and you kind of like it, but you feel like it's just an absolute whirlwind. You have no idea what was going on. You're like twisting in all different places and upside down. And what happens is if you do a couple more classes and you come back and things start to click into place, and then you get into a bit of a rhythm of it, don't you?
Yeah.
And we always like to encourage that, you're only going to improve if you keep repeating and you do bring that practice in more regularly.
Which is one of the points, is practice frequently, as if you want to start with it. And it actually probably goes against everything you do. If you want to pick up a new habit or hobby or whatever it is, you do have to practice that frequently. And that's one of the points of how to start yoga, is just keep that mindset that you're going to have to do this frequently if you want it to be something you start.
Yeah, but I suppose what I shouldn't have done was tried it once, go to the wrong class and give up.
Yeah,
you just try a different, like you might not have liked that style, or lots of people try different things.
For instance,
I didn't even like the school, that it was at the vicarage school, and nothing against vicarage school, but I felt like I was, back in gym class. Whereas I quite like your idea of I'm still fixed on the pancakes, but the view and the relaxing the space sounds much more appealing.
Big difference, and you can. I've been to a lot of bad yoga classes, a lot. We've always been together, so it's not just me. We've been to a lot of bad yoga classes all over, and when they're advertised as something that we think it's going to be, our conception of what that might be, and it's completely different, and you end up spending an hour in there because you're too embarrassed to leave. It's not like the Fringe where you can just walk out of a bad show, and we've ended up kind of experiencing that. But around the world and around the UK, yin yoga is fantastic, nothing against that, but it's a different format of yoga where you could be laying in a pose for 3 minutes, and for someone that's maybe not what they're looking for within that practice. And it's just, I haven't
got time to sit in one pose for 3 minutes. I'm too impatient.
Yeah.
I'd want to do 10 poses in 3 minutes, get it over and done with.
Yeah, see, and you have to, there is an element, Sam, that you have to lose that mindset.
Oh God. I've got to have to be patient, aren't I?
Yeah, but actually with our style a lot less. It does. I suppose we could be the gateway drug to that potentially.
That's good to know. So it's more dynamic. I'm actually moving in the hour. Right.
Some other ones, yeah.
So what other benefits am I going to get then? So I can't remember what you said first. Sorry. What did pancakes? Pancakes was first. What was next?
Pancakes is top of the list.
So great workout.
Yeah.
Another one is breathing technique. It helps you with breathing technique, which sounds weird.
Crazy, doesn't it? Because everyone knows how to breathe. You're doing it now. We're doing it to each other. And we're consciously, subconsciously just breathing as we talk and live, and no one stops to think about it. There's that great story, isn't there, of and these facts could be fake news, but it's something like 3 weeks, 3 weeks without food, 3 weeks without water.
Oh yeah.
Minutes without breathing, but you don't think about breathing. You think about food all day. I think about drinking, every, half an hour potentially. I think, I need a coffee or a tea or something.
Yeah.
But it isn't something that comes into the mind. So actually yoga, one of the benefits is, and why you should do it, is naturally teach yourself to breathe. And actually for an hour you focus on the breath, and probably for the first time, every time you go to class will be the first time you've thought about it that day, because you just wait and do it instinctively. And it's going from there, the more you do it, the more you build this into your lifestyle, that you will notice changes just with your mind. But then actually through anxiety or stress that might come into your life, it gives you techniques that you can draw upon for people that maybe need it. It's a fantastic thing you can pick up. They're called pranayamas. It's breath work that you can come back to at different points in your life and use that for something that's bigger than what you were doing.
So in terms of how your breath can affect your physiology and also your mindset as well, because I think that we're coming out of lockdown now, albeit slowly and at different rates. We're now open, Ashdown Jones. We didn't expect to be. It all happened very suddenly. And I think that some workers at home that have maybe been on furlough, or some people have been shielding or on quarantine, are going to feel quite anxious about the change again. They were anxious at the beginning, probably settled into it, and now they're anxious again. So could something like yoga help you transition a change, that quite an anxiety driven change, do you think?
You know what, sometimes it's, for us, we find it's just that moment in the day or in your week that you just give to yourself, and you just kind of forget about everything else that's going on, and you're just focused on movements and your breath. And I think that will just, it's like for us, we feel so much more kind of present of what's going on around us, but also we've given that time for ourselves and created that space in our head and in our body. So yeah. So
it does help. And actually we have actually started working with a couple of different corporations, and some of them are huge. One of the biggest banking groups in Britain, actually. It's fantastic new pilot scheme we're working on for the next month, actually, teaching up to about 1,000 people per class. And it's all done digitally through this digital studio we've set up, which is obviously not where we normally do it. And it's just one of the opportunities that's come up. But it does show that big corporations are taking a real shift in mindfulness and wellness. So yoga is one of those things that, and the next point that we have is meditation, is that it's not that it's so important, but no one will tell you that it's bad. And if big corporations are realizing that they've got a lot of people working from home, like people are coming out of lockdown, they might still be working from home, even though they're out of lockdown until the end of the year, we don't know. And all of that creates kind of a bigger space for people to have mindfulness and mental health problems, or to let them kind of build up and ferment more. And I mean, next week's Mental Health Awareness Week. The theme is Be Kind next week, and it's the launch of our work with this bank. And it does just show that it is really key with all of those issues that people deal with and sometimes struggle to talk about. And yoga is actually a really nice way to bridge the gap between maybe recognizing something and not wanting to do something else, as in maybe you want to go talk one-on-one with someone. We find a lot of people, and you do the work yourself, and we don't do anything special. We just teach yoga, and you come and do that yourself and create that time. And it reflects back to what you said, is by making that space for yourself, you can find a lot of joy and happiness from actually doing that. And it is really key for people now, more than ever, to do things maybe more like this.
Well, I think in other countries you have things like in Japan, they practice Tai Chi as part of their school day. And, there's all these other elements that I think we could bring in to have more holistic well-being. But just thinking about what you were saying before about the breath and being present, Maddy, I do a lot of coaching And it's actually business coaching, so it's not life coaching, but I find that when people get anxious, it's because they're either focused on the past, something that had happened, now they're trying to rectify it or trying to cope with or accept it, or something that is in the future that hasn't happened yet and may never happen. But actually focusing on where you are now is a lot calmer. It's a lot less anxiety producing if you focus on literally where you are. And I'm assuming that your breath helps you do that by focusing on your breath.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, good. I have a question just personally as well about the breathing idea. And yeah, I am coming around to this idea a lot more now, this idea of breathing and learning yoga to do it. Because I like running and I'm trying to improve my running. Can something like yoga, the breath element of it, can that help me in my running?
Yes.
Yes.
It's that breathing technique goes through everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And swimming. Swimming ends up having, I find, the same meditative approach, and actually running does. People have that runner's high is from. It's obviously from lots of things going on within your body as well, but actually the breathing all links with the movement, and that creates this kind of meditative, almost trance-like state as you run. So people find a really nice way to let off steam, or to, they have that or get hooked on that, is from that same benefit. So breathing techniques will help all of those things.
Okay, because my breath definitely lets me down, especially when I reach a hill. Trying to get up Orist Head in one go, I find really hard. I think it is quite meditative because of the kind of the constant steps as well. Yeah. I kind of lose myself a little bit in that, and I like that idea. I suppose for me, and everybody's going to receive resistance, aren't they, when they think about doing something different. But for me, I'm thinking I don't really like people, so being in a room with a load of other people, when they're all breathing, probably would freak me out a little bit. But I like the idea of learning it with you, so I could then go and practice it on my own some.
Yeah, so what's also been really great for us through the lockdown is we've been able to grow our online business through our YouTube channel. And
right, fantastic.
We're filming classes with our lovely backdrop here on the river, and posting them on our YouTube channel.
What's your YouTube channel called, Maddie?
It's called Stride and Edge.
Obviously.
We'll send you the link afterwards.
We can send.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm going to just see if I can actually find it on here as well. Is it with an ampersand?
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, Madeline's just a 50-minute introduction to yoga. So if anyone is watching this or watches this at a later date and wants to start yoga and has exactly the same anxieties about it as joining in with a group of people, there you go. That's it. That's the one.
Brilliant. Well done, guys. Look at that backdrop.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And what a fantastic body of work that you've created on there. That's brilliant.
Just hit subscribe while you're on that screen.
I've hit. Turn on notifications. I'm done. I'm sold. You've nearly convinced me. Were there any last benefits before we move into the 5 tips to getting into it?
Benefits. Posture.
Yeah, posture.
So strength, breathing, posture, mental health.
Meditation.
Yeah, mental health. That was it. Oh, and strength and mobility, which is similar. Yeah. Actually, the workout element is kind of getting over that point that actually it can be something that's going to be physically challenging. Like the one class you go to, say if you on Tuesday thought you have Tuesday night, you're going to hit that yoga class, that would be enough physically for you as a workout. You wouldn't need to think, I need to get you could, but it would be enough as within your
right. So perhaps I'd do it instead of my running on that particular day, is what we're saying. Maybe. Okay.
Yoga, that sort of thing. So it's
well, I follow a lot of elite runners. When I say follow, I don't mean like run after them. I mean like stalk them online. Couldn't catch them anyway. And a load of them do yoga. Loads and loads of them do. It seems to be part of the their regime.
This was one of the points. Was I think quite a lot of the time we say that yoga is actually such a good benefit to aid you with all the other sports that you love to do. So running, cycling, football, golf, anything that can cause tension in different parts of your body. Yoga aids that because it opens you all up, and so they. And
most Premiership football teams, rugby teams, they're all got yoga within their practice. Their training scheme. They're going to be
James is a footballer, aren't you, James? Could you do yoga?
Yoga.
You could do it. You could do it if you tried. That's his answer to everything, by the way. Swim in the channel, could do it if I tried. I'll get him to come down. Do you fancy a pancake? He's not sure yet. Might need a bit persuading. But I think young guys, I don't know how old you are, Harry, but young guys are not typically going to be the people that are queuing up outside. So there's a re-education, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, we're actually, I would say we've done, one of our strengths is that we've managed to break down that barrier a little bit, is our classes are about 50-50, 60-40, weighted towards women when it's...
Really?
And we've been doing this for over a year now, and I started teaching with a men's only class, so it's called Boys Night, and I ran that for about 3 to 6 months.
I think they thought they were coming to a different kind of night.
Yes, and we did pizza and beer after.
Beer and
Pizza and beer. We go to. I'll give a shout out to Base Pizza, because we go there for Base Pizza and
okay,
the best pizza in town, and we do that after year. So we do Wednesday night yoga. It was an hour beginners kind of, this is what it's about, and then pizza and beer afterwards. And it was, the marketing was all kind of like, can't touch your toes, scared of farting in class. Maybe broke it down a bit. That's a fear. People have anxiety of farting.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, because you're stretching in all different directions, aren't you? Let's not go there. Do you think you could get Paddy and Liam there?
100%.
Yeah, it'd be great for them, especially being guys.
Yeah, because they're getting repetitive strain, aren't they? Using the same things, and they can get stiff. And at weekends sometimes, or sometimes they only have one day off, and they literally can't move for the day.
Yeah.
And so I think they need more mobility. They're getting sore in certain places. Like if you're doing leaf blowing all day and it's autumn, you're going to get soreness, aren't you, around your shoulders and tightness. So that just loosens it all up, I'm sure.
It aids everything. Whether it could be a professional surfer doing it to help with the surfing, or it could be a golfer for that, or it could be just, even I find it that because I sit at a desk all day, I do 2 hours worth of commuting, 8 to 10 hours at a desk, and it's like, I'm hunched up, I'm at a screen, your posture's never good. So actually it just helps And then if you're a runner, you've got tight hamstrings. If you're a cycler, you've got tight hips, tight shoulders.
There's always something,
doing it's going to help get you back to a point and limit the possibilities of injury as well, because you become more elasticated and mobile and strong. So
and you're not just focusing all your effort, so you're not wearing out your body in little places, because I'm wearing out my hips. I really feel it. So actually I get, like you say, a full body workout without pounding the pavements every day. Okay, well, let's get into our 5-way, because you've got to go, actually, haven't you? And I could talk to you two all day. Yeah. So let's dive into the 5, what we're going to call it, 5 ways to get into yoga.
5 things to keep in mind before you start yoga.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we've covered a lot already.
We have
through this chat.
That's okay. So some people need hear it. You need to listen to it a few times, I'm sure.
First one is breathe, which we have already talked about.
Yeah.
It is, and it is just about, it's all about what we've said, but it's just don't forget to breathe. So don't worry about the breath at first. It's going to confuse you when you come to class, because it's inhale, lift your arms up, exhale, you fold. There's all this stuff going on. The big thing is actually...
Sounds like a lot to remember all at once.
Well, it is, and that's the point, is just remember to actually breathe, because you end up going through, when you're doing something strenuous, if you even think of being in the gym and lifting weights, very often you're supposed to breathe to help, and people end up, when they struggle, holding it in. So just remember to breathe is the big one.
Yeah.
Okay. We've actually had a comment as well. Do you know Ava Grace, by the way? Amazing singer, amazing young singer. She came on the lockdown lesson last Saturday or Sunday, I think. It's a fantastic, very inspirational young lady. And she says, I love that you do a class for men also. Yoga is for both genders, but it's stereotyped as more of a feminine thing to do, which I would agree with, actually. Thank you for encouraging, she says. That's lovely.
Thank you very
much.
That was a big thing for us. And we do have a lot of men that come to class now because of that, more so than you see when you go around the world. So,
and they love it.
Yeah, well, I think that's brilliant. And I think actually the fact that you're, no offense, Maddy, but you look like what I would imagine, a young, beautiful yoga teacher would look like. Harry, obviously, you're also young and beautiful, but you are a guy, and it's not what you would imagine that a yoga teacher would look like. So because, that stereotype, you're going to help break that down when they see you there, especially with the boys' night. I think that is, and I don't normally like girls things and boys things, but I think actually, but some things I think there's too many girls things. There's no boys things. Where is the boys only club? That we've moved away from that, haven't we?
Anything else, there would be a problem. So
yes, there would. Yeah,
that's a good idea. You can do that one.
Yeah,
but it does work. And I think weirdly, those things obviously more about they actually come together quite well. Is the big reason I think men don't come to yoga is because all of the fears, but I think they're intimidated as well.
Yeah.
So you've got
Of course,
strong women in yoga pants, and they don't know where to look, they don't know what's going on, they're embarrassed about they can't get their leg up there.
No, all that feminine chatter going on around them. It's very scary place to be for most young men, I would imagine. So I think that you are doing a great thing breaking that barrier down. Okay, so don't forget to breathe. What's next?
Point two, don't compare yourself to others. Like we said before.
That's a good one for me.
Yeah. Another point is have a sense of humor. Like we like to definitely push in our classes that it's not, don't take yourself too seriously. Like you are going to be in uncomfortable positions. We can, we sometimes we crack jokes, people have a bit of a giggle. And we like to push that because we want it to be an enjoyable time for you. And it's not, we don't want.
Well, usually you don't really think of yoga like that because when Susie Anton does her, rave fit, and it's so much fun and it's all dancing and day glow and disco lights and everything. It's great and it's really high energy. You don't really think of yoga in the same kind of, idea. You think of it as more of a serious thing where you have to go and just lie still and just, not talk. It's not like that at all.
It is a discipline that
we have a balance.
There's a balance where it's like you can come in and have a chat, enjoy yourself, have a chat afterwards, stay for pancakes and coffee, like we said. But it's treating that class though that it is a discipline still, and you're focused on your breath. But at the same time, it's remembering that you're gonna fall over, you're gonna twist the wrong way, something funny will happen. So like, don't be too serious. It's like keep a discipline, practice, but enjoy it and have a sense of humor because it's nothing serious.
Yeah,
I feel like you're talking directly to me there, Harry.
Here we are. We're one more person's all we need.
I feel this is like an induction. That's what I feel. Go on, carry on. What's the next one?
Remember to wear comfy clothes, something that you can move around in, loose fitted clothes, but also.
Oh, do you have to wear like head to toe lycra then? I thought that's what you had to wear for yoga.
I only wear it on Tuesdays.
But also, you are going to be upside down at times, so nothing to.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. Wear your, gym gear, running gear, something like that. But just keep in mind that something comfortable that you'd wear to do active sports, but maybe not loose fitting. So just keep that in mind.
Because it might go over your head,
come over your head, and you're going to be.
As a woman that has to tie her hair back, it always does my head in that. I start from a ponytail at the back, then I lie on the back of it and have to move my ponytail to the top. And what do you do, Maddie? Have you got long hair?
I've got very long hair. At the moment, it's like, I tie it up or I plait it, but it doesn't.
Right, okay. You have to teach me to do yoga hair then, okay. I'll have to look into that.
And then final point, which we have already mentioned, is to practice frequently because, you're only going to kind of build that practice within yourself if you keep going and keep doing the classes.
What do you need to be able to practice yoga at home? Do you need anything? I've often wondered why you use a yoga mat and not just your carpet. Why is that?
You just use your carpet. We do sometimes.
Yoga can be done with nothing at all outside in the park under a tree. It's completely free. And then the benefits are obviously going for an instructor is that you get more kind of one-to-one, even in a class experience, exposure. You get more guided practices. You get that studio setting with music. But all you really need is a yoga mat would be ideal, but you can do it on the carpet and things, but actually a yoga mat, especially the style we practice, doesn't really lend to doing it without the yoga mat because it is more of a physical practice. You are going to be sweaty and it will get slippy actually if you're not.
Okay.
We actually make our own yoga mats, Stride and Edge yoga mats. They're an eco-friendly. It's like
put me down for one. I definitely need one. If I've got a yoga mat, I might actually do it at home then.
You might come, and even if not, you can carry it around, and people think you're doing yoga, which is half the battle. That'd
be what I do all the time. I'd just be talking about it, and hopefully you do take away pancakes as well. Amy Thompson says, round table. Oh, we're getting on to the men only thing here. This is a different topic. Is a fabulous men only group designed for young men. You should get in touch with them and see how you could work together. I'll mention it to my husband. So there you go. Nothing to do with yoga, sorry, but and you are right, Amy. But we've got so many women only groups in this area, which I have no problem with as long as there's a man version of it. And we've got the lovely Danny Thompson who owns Oakbank Guest House that comes to our Success at Marketing Club, and he says this frequently. There's so many networking groups he's actually excluded from because he's a guy, and I think that we've got this. I don't want to get on the pedestal here, but we've got this kind of notion that women need more support and to have a more supportive environment and more kind of privacy away from it. And I don't think that's the case anymore. I think it's outdated now. And I think I love the fact, Harry, that you have been actually quite brave and put on a man-only class, because I think it's really, really needed. And I think men do need to have this place where they can just come and be men and not have to kind of, you know, watch what they say or watch what they do. I just think that's great. I think that's really good. And I am going to bully, actually, Paddy and Liam into coming to you. And maybe James as well, the footballer here.
And in the short term, the big push for us is our social channel of YouTube. But we've got Instagram, Facebook, a website. We're teaching digitally now online through Zoom, where we do classes. So you can sign up for that. It's all donation based, especially at the moment. So we're doing it donation. If it's not, you know, it's free basically, but you know, a nod of a coffee is all we ask for in the donation link. And also on YouTube, everything's free, and there's a full range of classes from 15-minute before work, after work, you know, pre or post exercise, all sorts of things on there. 50-minute full classes and beginners introductions. So the YouTube for us is a big platform to push, and for people like that that you describe, it's actually a great way just to check it out, check our YouTube link out and try a class. We've invested a lot in equipment to make sure it's a really good quality audio and visually, and we've got a great backdrop obviously of the lake. So I'm
definitely going to check that out. Do you think that for people who can't get to your class at the moment, do you think that that's a good place to start? And is there a particular video they should be watching on that channel?
Well, so if they've never done yoga before, we've got a full 50-minute introduction to Vinyasa yoga, and that's where I'm just break down everything and really go through the basic moves. And then we've got other classes that are more beginner based. Then we've got a few more that are slightly more advanced, but we can adapt for people who, you know, anyone can do them. So yeah, if you've never done yoga before, or if you have done yoga before, but you're interested in what kind of style we do, then definitely check out the YouTube channel, because, you know, you can just try them out at home. And if you like it, then you can keep doing them, and then you can, you know, chat to us.
We've had quite a lot of people actually. I mean, we only started a few months ago. We've got about 230 odd subscribers in the first few months.
You have got 234 plus me, 235.
There you go. So it's very slow, gradual growth. I mean, we're adding a couple.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard to get subscribers on YouTube. Really hard.
It's off this platform to kind of crack without concept of how the growth works there, but trying to figure it out.
I've got some great people I can put you in touch with. If you're already getting YouTube help, that's fine. But I know some really great YouTube marketers that are in a mastermind that I'm in. So
send us a few things over that.
Of course I will. Of course I will. So I think from what I've learned then, you know, you've really sold it to me. So as a woman of a certain age, I know I need to strengthen my core more. I absolutely get that. I can't do a sit-up to save my life. Never have been able to. And, you know, now is not the time to let my health slip, because I think it's just a one way, that, isn't it? And as a really old person, which is what my family think I already am, I want to be strong, and I want to be strong for them and for myself and for my own health. But also I think what you've shown me is that the barriers to entry are pretty much nil. So if I want to do it from home, I can watch a YouTube channel. If I want to do it with friends and have pancakes afterwards, I can come down to the jetty, which is great. And I'm going to have great views as well. I don't have to buy anything special. I can just come in my own active wear.
We provide all the mats when you come to.
You provide the mats, and I can even buy a mat to take home with me.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Maddie's going to show me how to plait my hair. So I'm in.
Brilliant.
Great.
That's like a done deal.
It sounds great. I genuinely mean that. You know, I wouldn't say I've been persuaded by all the lockdown lessons we've had, but I've definitely been persuaded by this one. So I really appreciate how you've sold to me today. You've been great, and hopefully lots of other people will take inspiration from that. Because, as I say, yoga's been just one step off my list for so long, and I really want to get it back on the list and do something about it. So when are you opening for business? Do you know what you're going to be doing again now?
We don't know.
We're liking the idea of digitally teaching and keeping to a lower number of classes, just because we're both busy. I obviously work full time. Madeline's working full time as an actor. Actually, this shift change has helped us a lot. Is maybe there's a way where we have this kind of hybrid studio, which is just Saturday mornings down by the lake because it's so beautiful. It's more of an event. Digitally through the week, and then we'll grow the YouTube. And then a big focus was for this year, it's going to be pushed back to next year, is the retreats that we're planning. We've got retreats planned in South Spain and in the Lake District for kind of luxury retreats for small groups to come away and have a fitness, wellness, holiday. So
amazing. That just sounds incredible. Maddy, I didn't actually ask you about your acting career. Is there anything you want to tell us about that before we sign off?
Well, so I mean, I'm still in my final year. We're in that kind of graduation period. Everything's a bit up in the air. But yeah, I just signed with an agent yesterday. So, And
what kind of acting are you going to do? Do you know?
Pardon?
What kind of acting are you going to do? What's going to be your thing?
Well, so I'm trained in conservatoire training, which is in theatre and TV and film. Straight acting, but basically those three. But obviously the theatres are very vulnerable at the moment, so we'll see where things go.
But that's exciting though, isn't it? So about 3 weeks ago we had, I don't know if you've heard of Liam Dean, Liam Ball as I would know him, but Liam Dean is his stage name, and he is a professional actor. He's only very young, he's 22, and he graduated from Brit School and then from Italia Conti, and he does stage work, so he does like chorus, pantos. He's actually taken the lead in a couple of pantos, so he goes touring. So he's in lockdown hell at the moment, probably driving everybody mad, and because he's a very big character. But he was telling us about his career, his touring career on the road, which I just think it's fantastic. I think it's fantastic that this area is producing such amazing talent, and I'm sure you're one of that number, Maddy. So I can't wait to see what you do with that career.
Oh, thank you very much. Me too.
All right. Well, it's been great talking to you two. It's been a long time coming. I know how busy you two are, so thank you. We just squeezed it in, didn't we? Number 49 or 50. We're stopping tomorrow with a big lockdown lesson. So everybody watching, tune in tomorrow at 12 o'clock. We've got a big exciting one there. I'm not going to announce what it is just yet, but that's 12 o'clock tomorrow. And then we're done. 50 lockdown lessons it's been. We are going to move on to something else. Thank you. It has been fantastic, and we've met some great people, and I would never have met you two, or it might have taken me a long time to meet you two if we hadn't got you on a lockdown lesson. So it's been good for me too. Really and I've learnt loads. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So what I'll get off you afterwards, if it's okay, is all your accounts and all your links, and we'll pop that in the post. And if people want to get in touch with you, then hopefully we'll make it really easy for them to do that.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. Yeah, we'll get that sorted.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you so much, you two. You've been a joy to interview. And everybody watching, have a great day.